wanted to be around. So when you work for somebody before, you kind of know how you want things done. So he says, for us it was a great job, but we knew what we were doing, what we were getting into.
What was the appeal in coming to ASU, leaving LSU?
For me, it's the city. You've been to Tempe, you've been to Scottsdale, you've been to Phoenix as a visitor. You're just amazed at everything it has to offer here. And you couple that with, when I worked for Randy, he'd always say, Arizona State's my dream job. And so as an assistant, you would always hope you'd get it. You always stayed at St. Mary's because they're doing so good. So when it came open this time, it made a dream come true to come work with him.
Well, Coach, you have obviously an extensive tie with Australian native players. Did you have any prior knowledge and familiarity with Joel Foxwell before he decided to come here?
I did. So I'm part of the national team, Al Boone's Olympic team. His brother, actually, Owen Foxwell, was coming with us to LSU at the time. And Joel was not quite in the portal at that time. So when I got the job here, Owen had already been in the portal, went to Wisconsin, and Joel was available. And so the relationship with him and his family made it a good match. And obviously Coach Bennett competing against him last year made it an easy sell.
Obviously Coach Bennett's been pretty open about the speed bumps he's encountered with his health issues. Does that affect recruiting in any way, or did he kind of just set out a plan for you guys?
Not so much, because this world's on Zoom right now, and wherever he was on the phone, whether he was in the hospital or at home on the phone, and obviously through Zoom, he was great. But he's instrumental in, we do the recruiting, but he seals the deal with his leadership and his ability to sell his program and his vision for Arizona State.
You guys talk about finding the right player, but how do you go about doing that?
I think it starts with the character. Are they winners? Are they workers? And do they want to do it with other people? Because it is an individual world now when you talk about NIL. Those players are still out there, as Coach Bennett said. And we'll do it. Obviously, we want to build from the inside out, from Arizona out, but we'll go internationally, as you can see, to get those type of players that want to win, that want to work, and want to do it for the right reasons.
How valuable do you think it is to have those international pipelines?
I think massive. I think this is the fifth largest city in the U.S. Everybody knows Arizona State, the brand. You want the local talent and the people, within the country, but when you look at Illinois and Michigan, those teams that are playing in Final Fours, they're playing with people from all around the world. So we can embody that here at Arizona State because of what this whole place has to offer academically and athletically.
I mean, you talk about finding the guys with the right character and the type of guy that would fit the program. A lot of times you can't even host these guys or they're far away. How do you figure that out over just a Zoom call?
I think I've been in the business now 25 years, or maybe 30 as a player and coach, and so it's your connections. I think recruiting is part of your connections and relationships, so calling the right people to find out is he or she a worker, how they academically, how they in the community. You got to be able to call the right people that are going to give you truth tellers to you along the way, but you got to do it quickly.
And this staff has, as Coach Bennett said, former head coaches, just a lot of coaching talent on the staff. How does this staff kind of compare to others you've been on?
Like you talk about alignment, like we're all aligned. Either former players or former people that have worked for Coach Bennett. That's unique, I think, in college sports right now. And so we're all on the same page. There's no ego involved. And we're all pulling the same way. So that's a big deal, I think, in this profession.
Coach Bennett talked about a little bit about how big it is to have players that have already been in the program for a year come back. What's your point of view on having Bryce and BJ coming back for another year?
Oh, I think big time. When you saw, obviously I saw Bryce play on film, when you study about who you want to retain, and then BJ was around working out, and you're like, who the heck is this? Because he's right, he walked in like 2 weeks after we got here because he'd been on vacation somewhere. And so to see his talent, his length, and I commend the old staff because they told us that's the one guy you probably want to try to keep. Coach Irvin that was here said he's the guy that you want to keep. So he was right. They're talented kids, but they're good kids that wanted to stay here, which I think was huge.